Hi, today I'm talking about finding and fulfilling unmet childhood needs. And my name's Rachel. I'm a mental health therapist, a coach, and a therapist mentor. And I specialize in helping people do the brain work for resolving symptoms of anxiety, depression, and traumatic stress. And the brain has a beautiful process for this that is actually pretty fast. But this process gets blocked, and I really specialize in helping people get that unblocked. And so lots of brain work there. And when that brain process gets unblocked, all of a sudden the brain is healing, learning, reorganizing, growing, and creating our health and wellness. And so I help people walk the brain through being able to do that and really rehabilitating it or helping it do that for the first time ever, depending on how complex the challenges are. So today, this is part of a series I'm doing on complex PTSD recovery, and it's really, really important. I'm going to expand my screen here. It's really important because these are the unconscious drivers that are driving the bus of our life. These are these unmet needs are what is driving our bus. You might be in the back seat in the first row. You might be way in the back. I don't know where you are, but these unmet needs are so important. They're developmentally important. They're important to us as primates, as primal beings. They are crucial, and they're running on subconscious programming. And so these are wonderful to find and fulfill because this is how you get to get yourself into the driver's seat of your your bus, right? All the other parts of you in the back, where they're supposed to be. You're supposed to be the captain of your bus, the captain of your ship on the ocean of life. That's where you're supposed to be sat. But if we don't get these unmet childhood needs met during childhood, they continue to run and be the top priority of our unconscious system until they are met. And this is a tricky thing because they're unconscious. That means we're not aware of them, but that doesn't make them any less powerful. They are highly powerful. Um, when I came to a point in my healing journey where I saw that everything was about my unmet childhood needs, I was like, everything, I'm going all out unmet childhood needs. Okay. I'm going to find them all. I'm going to resolve them all. Let's go. I look a little neurotic like that, right? I was feeling like I had had enough and it's time to take my life back. And this was just one more way to do that. Um, and this is what I'm constantly looking for with clients as well. And so let's talk about them. And these are interesting because these get shamed a lot for us adults. We are actually, there's so much shame around children for them trying to get their needs met when these things come up that it's actually, they become weaponized and in the future prevent us from having healthy strategies for getting these needs met. Okay. If we have a childhood experience where these needs are getting met, we're actually enjoying that. It's lighting up our nervous system. It's actually wiring things for us. Health and wellness, higher mood states, joy, bliss, connection with other people. Uh, and because we're having experiences with this, our brain is creating this for us and we're practicing it, and we enter adulthood with skills to get that need met. Like, for instance, I'm going to name off a couple of these. One of these is attention, right? These are in no particular order. I'm just going to kind of pepper you with a bunch of them. But I want you to see how attention is really a huge need children have. And you can see how, oh, you're just trying to get attention. Oh, you're just an attention seeker. Yes, actually, neurologically, that's actually accurate and appropriate and healthy. This is not something that should be weaponized. This is actually something we're trying to help children and ourselves as adults get a lot of the healthy, right kind of attention that our nervous system is seeking. And so if you are going to be an attention seeker, yes, you are. You know, that's what we're doing here. And when I'm working with artists and performers and entertainers, a lot of them cannot do their craft because they require quite a bit of attention for their system to light up and function properly. And they've been shamed and weaponized, and there have been all these limiting beliefs and rules set around them getting that, so they can't get the attention. If they get the attention, it crashes their system. So we actually have to work that out. so that they can get the attention that they need. Some people, anyway, I could go off on that in a whole live. Maybe I should. I'm going to bring it back. I, and so especially these ones stand out to me because in early childhood, they're really trying to get this met, and maybe the parents are too, sometimes some of the entertainers I've worked with are real shockers. Like their type of entertainment is shock value. It lights them up, and their parents don't want to be shocked, right? So that doesn't go very well, and so they don't get that particular need met. Sometimes uh, the parents are too busy, right? Their parents are so busy trying to hold the family together, you pay the bills, that they're just not available to pay the attention, right? There's so many things coming out of childhood that just block this need from getting met, and we need to do it. And we need to get that wired now, even though it's something that should have been done then. It's something we need to resolve now. Attention, affirmation, just being affirmed. One of my clients was like trying to get affirmation from somebody, and she was like, I know I shouldn't be doing that. Oh, wait, hold up. This is actually an unmet need of yours, and we need to figure, you need quite a bit of affirmation, and actually this you're seeking affirmation is actually a sign of affirmation, what's it called, deficiency. That's not a clinical term, but I think it should be. um, Mind you, I'm on the actual practical mental health side of things. I'm not in the sit back and nerd out and define things, so I'm just going to make up my own stuff. um, but um, the present forms of affirmation seeking or approval seeking, approval is also one of these needs, is a sign of an unmet need, right? It's showing up, it's not adaptive, the skills are not very fabulous, we're not actually getting the approval that matters, that counts, or that does the right, like, it's like, okay, I got the approval. No, it's like, I need more, I need more, I need more, because it's not matching. The need isn't met from this perspective. So we're just kind of grabbing at a bunch of things. We can get intentional about all of this stuff. Okay. But another unmet need we have is attunement. Having somebody who's attuned to us, who's paying attention to us, who's curious about us, who sees us and is attuned to the needs we have, what we're thinking, what we're doing, our facial expressions. These are needs. This attunement is huge. Huge. This is a huge unmet need. This is one of the things that must get repaired. This is huge for most people with complex PTSD. It's a need that has not yet been met. This need right here is one of the reasons my program is set up the way that it's set up. We're like working on that wiring immediately. The unmet childhood need for care, right? Sometimes there's just a care deficiency. And sometimes there is abuse, and that would be the opposite of care. And so we need that. We need that care. We need comfort. Comfort, as in soothing, soothing our nervous system, rocking, hugging. Shh, it's okay. It's okay, right? Comfort, comfort. The equation of that is at the outcome, soothing and nervous system regulation. Not like, well, but I said this, and I know it made you more upset. That's not comfort. I don't know what that is. We'd have to really look at that, but that's not it. Comfort is actually measurable, and it has these outcomes, and this is how we know it actually happened. And it can be different for everybody. I've seen people feel so cared for over stuff. I'm like, that would have done nothing for me, right? And that's because we have different nervous systems, right? And so I can't say that's not care. It was care because it did the thing, okay? A sense of belonging is an unmet childhood need. A sense of feeling valued is really, really important. Feeling like you're protected is a huge need. If didn't happen in childhood, you're going to still be doing things to fulfill that need. Even if you are beautifully protected, you protect yourself excellently, all these things, you might notice your behaviors are still running, and we'll find that it's actually the need to feel protected from childhood still running in the nervous system. And so we want to pull that out of there and help your system get that need met. Um, okay, so those are some of the unmet childhood needs. Okay, there are many, and if you can name them, they're probably one of them. If you feel like you need this, then it's probably one of these. And so when we're talking about finding them, we can really find them based on the behaviors you're doing presently. Um, this is not something I actively outline in my program because it's showing up all the places, and we'll just resolve it in so many of these ways that um, it's not one of the, it's not a direct thing. This starts, I will tell you that a lot of these things, okay, I just wanted to go freestyle on this. I have never explained this before. It's something that I'm intuitively doing. And so I'm putting words to it for the first time. So bear with me here. Um, so if you can understand that in childhood, the whole for meeting the needs is parent sized. It's the shape of the parents, whatever the parent has for attunement. If the parent attunes to the child, that needs getting met. And the next one, and the next one. And because of how humans are, we can do this thing called alloparenting where we can actually bond with multiple people. That's why we're tribal. And so if we have a caregiver that really that there this whole can be met by them as well, but really the parent size one is really the one that's going to linger if the parent doesn't do those things. And so um, but once we get to a particular age, and I don't know the age, but let's invent one. The scientists can come correct us later. Let's say 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, right? This young adulthood is really where we want to see the self switch over into I can do this stuff independently, and they will. But if it's not done, the young adult will try to go do the thing, and it doesn't work, right? It doesn't work. And then they're like, holy crap, it doesn't work. And then they're reaching to other people, please do this for me because it doesn't work, right? And so here is really where actually, even though we're reaching for other people, the size of the unmet need is us shaped, is that my unmet needs are actually the shape of my stuff. If Hillary comes and tries to meet this need, it's not the right shape. It's not the right, it won't fit. It won't plug into the puzzle. They're actually mine. And this is kind of mind boggling because you're like, how am I supposed to meet my own unmet childhood needs? Well, there's ways for this. There's actually exercises that you can walk your brain through. You bring your brain to it and you say, hey, go ahead and meet that need. And the brain's like, right? Like if you were to ask your brain to go roller skating for the first time, you've never been on roller skates, you'd go and you'd put the roller skates on, you'd say, okay, brain, let's go. And your brain would be like, But if you keep doing the roller skates, eventually your brain will be like, and on the off time, it's be like, oh, she's going to take us back to those roller blades. We better figure this out. We need the program, build, everybody build, right? Drama. But eventually you would go to the roller skates and you'd be able to be more steady because your brain realized you would be doing this and they worked it out. And while you're roller skating, you're wobbling, they're gathering all this information and data, and then they go back and you come back and you're more steady, right? We do this with the brain. We want to bring the brain to the whole, okay, meet the need. And then the brain, and then she's going to ask me to meet the need again. I don't know how to do it. And then frustration comes around. We're soothing the nervous system. We're talking with the cerebral system. We're safe. I know there's a lot of stress here, but we're safe, right? But pretty soon the system can do that. When I'm walking people through these exercises in therapy, sometimes if I can just position them right, that's what I'm working on. That's my thing. I teach you to position yourself in my program, but when people are working with me, I'm constantly working to position them right where their brain is like, okay, now brain, do it. And sometimes brains will they've been waiting to meet themselves and connect their entire life. They're like, I got this. And sometimes the brain is like, ew, that's going to be gross. I don't want to do it. And you'll watch them start pulling back from the opportunity to pay attention to themselves, attune to themselves, affirm themselves, care for themselves. They just, ooh, right? Okay, good. That's where we're at. There's repulsion and resistance. So we're going to work on the repulsion and resistance. Then we're going to get back in there. Hey, here, we're right there with the need. Can you do it? No, but I'm not resisting, but I don't know how, right? And so we resolve every one of those and we keep positioning until the brain, mind, body system can work together to really meet that need. And you'll find that the system will actually successfully comfort the self. And that's round one. Once we have liftoff once, we're going to do it again and again and again, 3 times, maybe 4, maybe 5, however much time it takes. But when we come back to those positions, I'm going to want to watch the brain do it itself without being cued very much. And then we're going to watch it spontaneously occur. And then it's going to be a subconscious program. The brain just does this. That's where we should have gotten to in childhood. If we would have been practicing this in healthy, comforting, attuned situations with our caregivers, then we would have had enough practice already. It would have built the program and it would be off and running. Okay, all the wiring is still there right now. We just need to get in there and get it wired. Okay, so there's exercises for this. This is why there is brain work involved. And it's not just a concept. Like sometimes I will teach people the concept like I'm doing right now, but I don't care, right? Now let's do it. Can we do it? It doesn't matter if we understand it. That's not how this works. The understanding, the prefrontal cortex loves that. It's like, ooh, I get it. But that does not mean the subconscious mind and the nervous system, the body, has gone through their process to come into alignment to be able to do it. I can tell you about roller skating, even if you've never been on roller skates before, or if you've been on them a couple times and you're like, it was bad, right? And I can say, hey, okay, but this time we're going to do this. And you're like, oh, okay. It's not going to matter until we get on the roller skates and we try and implement the things and see if it goes better or if it goes worse. Right? And if it's like, okay, if it goes worse, why? And let's make some adjustments, right? And bring it in here. And so the same thing with this, it's not going to be about this understanding. It's not going to mean that you can go ahead and do the meeting your own needs. But it needs to be done. Now let's go do it. Can you successfully do it 3 times? And so doing it, you might have to do it quite a few times, maybe 6, 3 times of failing, running into why it doesn't work. Oh, no, it doesn't work. I don't even want to do that. That sounds terrible, right? We're going to work through every one of those until we can get the successful one. That's the one that counts. Now we're going to do it again. And it might take us 5 times. It took us 7 or 8 times this time, and there's still so much resistance. I don't want to do it. I can't do it. The brain's saying, and all of a sudden, lift off. Okay, that's 2. That counts. Okay, let's try it again. Okay, so we're over here in this area, the same opportunity to pay attention or affirm or care for a sense of belonging, whatever we're doing here. And we're going to work through it, and it should happen quicker, right? Because now the brain has practice. It's building theories and processes. And so it's like going through a maze. It's going through it the first time you're on all the dead ends. Then you go through the second time, you're like, I recognize some of this stuff. I'm not going down that path. And then you end up going faster. And then next time you've got it, and then you've got it memorized, and you can get through the maze faster and faster and faster. That's how brains work. That's brain function. That's brains processing. Brains that cannot process, which is why we have anxiety, depression, traumatic stress. The brain is saying, I can't process the information that is moving through my system. Right? And brains that can't do that, you will not see them getting better at the maze. You'll actually see those brains getting better and better at creating symptoms of anxiety, depression, and traumatic stress. That's why it gets more complex. So, okay, so we want successful repetitions. Okay, that's what we're doing here. And this is why the work I do is much different than talk therapy, because we're not going to just sit and talk about it. We're actually going to do the reps. We're going to create the neurology. We're going to create enough repetitions to inspire the brain to start creating new wiring, to rewire, to recondition and go. Right? That's a lot different than just talking. And so while I do talk in sessions, that's not the focus. We're talking enough to understand exactly what the assignment is, what we're doing today, and we're going to go do the work. Right? Just like I'm more like a physical therapist. You're going to go, she's going to evaluate, he's going to evaluate, and then you're going to do the exercises. That's really what this is about. And it's because we're doing a different type of healing and rewiring. And so when we can get these unmet needs met by you, you will also notice that other people will start doing this with you as well. And so you'll pretty much have a little small team of people that are meeting these needs because you started meeting it. It doesn't happen in reverse. And as a matter of fact, I think the people are already doing it. It doesn't register because you don't actually have the neurology to receive care, comfort, value. And so people are doing it and it won't hit. You can't receive it because that neurology hasn't been built. And so we're actually going to go in and do it ourselves because we're going to build it. and it's our size, right? It's shaped like us, and it's ours to do now, and we're going to do it. And then all of a sudden the neurology picks up, turns on, and then we can receive it from other people, and we're like, oh, was this here the whole time? Yes, probably. I want to say yes, but I don't know what your circumstances are, so I'm going to say probably. But it won't matter until you can do it yourself, until your brain's neurology has picked that up. Okay. It's like there's blue everywhere, but if your brain can't see blue because it can't, and then you put on the glasses, all of a sudden you're like, whoa, there's been blue here this whole time. Exactly. It's the neurology. It's that with the glasses, it's a little different than emotional and mental, like wiring for wellness and for relationships. That's what we're doing with these unmet childhood needs. We're actually wiring for wellness and healthy relationships. So there's a neurology involved. That's what we're doing. And it also happens to resolve symptoms of anxiety, depression, and traumatic stress and repattern wellness into the nervous system and regulation and make the executive functioning way more available. Right? We don't have executive functioning in survival mode. The brain has turned off executive functioning and it's running on survival mode. We have some, but it's not effective. We're not running as optimally as we could be if we've got distress of anxiety, depression, and traumatic stress, which is types of survival modes. Okay, so I don't have anything else written here, but I just want to say this is really exciting work, and it's so simple to do, but it's more complex when we're older. And I like to have a plan and be organized because I don't want to leave it to chance. It's time to do it. It's time to heal. It's time to wire things in. It's time to rock, right? It's like you find that this unmet need for approval is here, and it's like causing you to have conversations and fawn and do all these behaviors, and it's at the root of why all this is happening. And you're just like, I have to get over this. Let's go. It's time to wire that in. And so there's a lot of strategies. One of the best strategies for this is resourcing. This was, as a young therapist, this was one of the hardest skills for me to wrap my mind around. I actually don't think I wrapped my mind around it. I think I just actually started doing it, and I was doing it enough, and I was seeing all the repair, and I was like, oh, this is resourcing. I teach people how to do this for themselves and to practice this and build the skill. I have them do it over and over and over again in my program, and I teach this in part 3 of my program. So by week 3, this is the work that you're getting into, and you're rewiring deeply. So, okay. Let me tell you that program is available on my website right now. You can jump in and get started. In 3 weeks from now, you will be right there working on this thing that I'm talking about. This is a very different way to work with the brain. It's powerful, wonderful, and fast. And so I want to leave you with that. Also, if you're like, oh, I'm interested, but I don't know, right? I have a free program called Interventions for Inner World Transformation. That program is where I teach you for free the interventions that work with the part of the brain that unlocks the healing process and helps your mind body system do this work quickly at optimal speeds. And so it is very different. Once you have one that works, I show you how to see if it's working or not in that program as well, because I want you to be able to evaluate. This is not wishful thinking. This is actual before and after. We should see these things happening if your brain is if that healing process is working. And so you can evaluate that and see if you get one that works, you are ready to go. And you can do so much healing work just by using these interventions, that they're huge gifts. I want everyone to have them because every one of us has a brain and it needs help. Brains are required. That's the design. So wonderful connecting. If you have any questions about this, if you just brought up more questions, insights, drop them in the comments. I am always looking for topics questions to answer to go live and give you the information that you want and that you're looking for. And it's kind of fun. It feels like we're playing together to create information exchanges. All right, I'll see you later. Take care. Bye.